go crazy. It go crazy. It go crazy. It go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the old to LA. Go crazy like a dum-dum. Eastside homeboy, where I come from. Dance on the floor till you go numb. No fighting, no hating, no red rum. This is OOO City. All the way to the bay, hit the bass, feel me. Catch a case cause it's beating up your Chevy. Get you moving side to side, getting all sweaty. Make it work it, work it, work it out. Turn the volume up loud. This a draw crowd, make it all shout. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Hit play on the track and now I'm ready. Like a quarterback, Tom Brady. Get you all in the frenzy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. Go, 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 go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to LA. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. Go, go, go crazy. All the way from the O to
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Happy Tuesday. I have missed you guys immensely. It is so good to be back in this chair talking to the people. So I hope you guys have had a good week so far. We have made it to Tuesday, and I hope it is treating you well. So if you would please, while you come on in and get comfortable in this here room, if you would drop a good what's up, go on and get your formalities out of the way. And while you're doing that, if you would please let us know what city and state you are tuning in from. And go ahead and hit that share button for the one time, okay? So that your timeline can know where you are getting ready to spend a little bit of your time on this evening. Because, we can sit in around here no matter what the topic is. This is where you want to be. So this one is sure to live up to all of the bells and whistles that we do here around here at the Scoop. Okay. So be sure and hit the share button so your people know what's going on. What's going on, Donnell? Hey, bro. It's good to see you down here bright and early. What's going on, Miss Teresa? Hey, sugar. So yes, you see how it's done down there. We got OKC in the house by by Brother Cole, and we've got Miss Teresa. I know she's gonna let us know she's here from Forest Park in Hales. Anyway, so yeah, if you can tell around here, I'm happy to be back, number one. And number two, we are one big happy family around here. So please go ahead and get comfortable and get acquainted in the comments section. When you do not have the time to hang around for the full show, or when life just happens to life, we never want you to miss what's going on here at the Scoop. So we invite you to be sure that you are following us on all social media platforms, because we out here, okay? We out here in these social media streets. So please follow us on YouTube at The Scoop Show, on Facebook at Real Scoop Show, on Instagram at The Scoop Radio Show. And you can be sure to, if you ever want to communicate with us, if you've got something that you want to chat about, you can shoot us an email at globaldriveradio@gmail.com. I don't know why I've never mentioned that, but today I decided to go and just throw that in there. Just words. I'm gonna read the words. I like words. All right, what's up, Orlando? We got Orlando in the house. Hey, yeah. But yeah, I think that covers all of the business that we need to take care of this evening. How are you, bro? It's good to see your face.
I am good. I just trying to figure out what my child wants.
Oh. Hey, nephew. What's going on, sugar? Hey, baby.
Hi.
You want to say hello?
Dad.
He said,
Yes.
no, I want to talk to you.
In the middle of the show. Lord help me. Anyway, I'm good. How are you?
I am here. I am under the weather, but more excited to be in this chair. So we're going to let the meds do what the
Let me
meds
keep
do.
us high.
I can't see that.
See? Says hi, Trey.
Oh, I don't see it.
Yeah. You don't need to. Go to bed.
It's not like that kind
All right. Well, I'll call you back. I gotta go. I'm on the show. Love you. Bye.
24/7, 365.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yep. But yeah, I'm doing well. Letting the meds do what they do for the
Good.
time that they allow on this evening.
Listen, I was listening. I had to send up all the good prayers and everything because I said, loose Q and let her go.
Give us free.
Give us Q. Give us Q.
Listen, y'all. Okay, so since James got sick the week before my birthday, okay, so he was sick for like 7 or so days. We got him back going. The kids went back to school that following Tuesday, okay? Wednesday, Thursday, both my daughters positive for COVID. So we do the whole thing with them, get them back together. They were very mild symptoms like most of the babies are doing right now. In the midst of them coming out of COVID, my neck, I have pinched nerves in my neck to the point where I literally can't, it's like there's no movement. For those of you who like know me, this happens a couple times a year. I got an old bitch body. I tell people that all the time. Like everything just breaks down and it's all kinds of randomness when it happens. So I was like out of commission. It was a bad deal. I just got my neck back like Saturday afternoonish.
Yeah.
Kinda. And I think that was just the will of girl, get out of this damn bed that just made it happen. And we pushed on through and here we are. So today I've been fighting back and forth with the low grade fever and it is not a good look. I'm just tired. I'm tired. That just gives you the timeline of why you haven't seen me, what all of the fuss is about, and why I'm so happy to be here, even for the short time that we're gonna maybe be able to make it happen tonight. So send up prayers for the Willis household, and I hope y'all are being healthy out here. However that healthy looks like to you. But if that didn't tell you nothing, please be healthy.
Yeah.
Stay healthy. Take care of yourselves.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you back. And if y'all so I know you didn't want to miss last week's show, y'all. If y'all missed last week's show with Charles Martin, and we talked about attachment styles, really good. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit later because I know you went back and watched and we got some talking about there. So y'all stay with us. We got a good show tonight. Let's go ahead. You ready to jump into these hot topics?
Yes, please. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. All right. So this one I got sent. And I said, this is a pretty good question. Let's talk about it. So the question is, how do you know when you're ready for marriage? I've been dating a guy for the past year, and I'm sure I love him, but I don't really know if he's the one. Is there any way to ever be truly sure? How do you know when you're ready for marriage? I've been dating a guy for the past year, and I'm sure I love him, but I don't really know if he is the one. Is there any way to ever be truly sure? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I would think so. I think so. That's a good question. Just as simple as it is. That is a good question because we sacrifice a lot for ourselves within the realms of relationships, but we also have a lot of growing and gaining to do. So I want to say, yes, you can know if this person is the person that you want to go through those stages with. I think you can identify that. The question, and I'm almost frustrated with myself that this is even a question for me, that this is a good question. You know what I mean? Because and that I think is because we have so much access to choice now, in a way that when the idea of marriage and forever, the idea of marriage in itself had a very different scope to it, a very different parameter around it than what we have now. And that is due to our culture, due to our shifts in the social economic structure, just innovation. All of those things come into play. It's not just a matter of, do people want to be with everybody or not? Like, there's a lot of different factors that have transformed what that union looks like. But yes, I think you can decide if this is the person that I want to get down through here and do this life with. Yeah, you can't be sure if that's the person. You muted, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I've got all right. So I want to start by saying that I know this might not be a popular thing that I'm going to say. But I first want to dismantle this idea of the one. I think that the one, I know this is not popular because obviously, especially if you come from my circle of the world, which is the church world, but this idea of the one to me is closer to what Q just said as opposed to what we would say. And so I think you can make a choice to say that this is the one person that I want to do life with. But I think part of the problem is we think that in making the wrong choice, we are missing out on the one person we're supposed to do life with. And so I think there's definitely things that we should do. We should get counseling. We should counsel the type of counseling that puts us through all of the rigors, meaning like have all the questions, put the stress test. I'll say that the stress test that you can go through before. But I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to a choice that you and this other person make to say we are going to not only do life together, but that we're going to do life well together. That we're willing to continue and consistently make the necessary adjustments to keep and maintain a strong relationship, strong marriage. So with this particular one, I'm interested in how you say, I know I love him. Well, no, I'm not interested. I'm interested in her idea of what she means by I know I love him.
I think that has more to do with the time frame reference than anything.
I do too.
Yeah. The fact that she says it's been a year, as though like now they're supposed to know within a year. And I don't always think that's true. It depends on what that year has
happened and
done for y'all. Yeah,
I got questions. What's happened? That's why I said I want to know what she means by that. Does she mean we've been together this long? Does she mean it's time because I don't want to waste my time? I really I love him, meaning I really like him and things about him. Like, tell me what you mean by I love him.
Right.
Because to me, a certain type of love after that's consistently been in your life for a year, not to say that you don't still have questions, but to question if I still want to marry this person, to me seems kind of strange. So let me say the difference. The difference being we haven't really seen what it's like to live with each other. So I'm not sure if we can live well together. That's a question. Do I like you enough to spend the rest of my life with you after a year? Depending on the situation, you should have some sense of the answer to that question. So,
and I'm gonna piggyback on that. If you don't, that doesn't mean, because I know right now, especially on coming into the second year or off of the second year, hell, I don't know if we're coming into or off of the second year of the pandemic, and with all of the loss and adjustment that we've gone through, everyone is like, a life is too short, we got to live for the moment, yada yada yada. But I think the piggyback of this is not necessarily saying, okay, I'm going to create qualification based on these things because we've hit XYZ milestones. So now these things now need to magically be enough for us to be okay. Right. What this should say to you, if you still question if this person is my forever person, it's not, well, now you need to magically become them because we've hit a year. It's right. This next year, we have to get very, very serious about this next time that we're getting ready to spend together. We're going to have to get uncomfortable. We're going to have to put ourselves in the space that's going to test this, so we don't waste 3, 4, 5 years if we aren't compatible to do these types of things together. Because I think that's the flip that everyone is on this now. We're moving so fast. It's not even that. It's what is the quality of the time that you're putting, not just the length. What is the quality effort that you're putting into this time that you're spending with people?
Absolutely.
We have a lot of expectations for the minimal amount of effort. Like we have minimal expectations of what we're to do, but huge expectations of what we're to receive from time. That's not how it works.
Not how it works at all. I like that. Yep, I agree. I totally agree. And again, everybody wants you to hurry up. Look, I already said, listen, everybody wants you to hurry up, but don't nobody want to help you pay for nothing. Like, so y'all gonna put something on this?
Right. I would like to do that too. Like,
put something on this house? Y'all gonna put something on these student loans? What we talking about? I mean, if y'all that eager,
if only.
let me show me how much you really care about how much you got on it. So, yeah, but anyway, I digress. I got a little personal with that one. I'm sorry. I got a little personal.
Let them use you. I ain't gonna stop.
Y'all forgive me. Sorry. I'm okay. I'm back. All right, this next one. Now, this is one you posted, actually. So I'm going to let you explain this one for the people. This is the orgasm gap.
Okay. So I think this was a week or more ago, maybe, that I posted this one. So this is in regards to the orgasm gap. And I encourage you to go and read this particular article. But my caption was, I'm going to say that I can absolutely see this being an opportunity for us to get more of the sex we want as women. I've noticed that people are discussing how Jada was taught how to #take care of herself by her grandmother. And this is regarding masturbation. And the people are big mad about it. I feel like if more of us are aware of what pleasure truly feels like from a personal perspective versus performance for our partners, we'd save ourselves a lot of wasted time, energy, and the #bodies. What do you think is the reason for the orgasm gap? So to summarize what the orgasm gap is, for those of you who have not heard about this or had the opportunity to read the article touches on a few points. It touches on the fact that studies are showing that heterosexual women who are having sex with men are not being fulfilled sexually. They are not reaching climax. They're generally just not enjoying sex. By and large, it ain't happening. However, on the other side, women who are experiencing relationships with other women or have opted out of it completely and decide to take care of themselves or are empowered and participate in multiple ways of satisfying themselves, experience sex better, more satisfying overall. They have a better experience than women who are doing it the traditional way. So this coupled with some of the backlash, and I don't know why this has popped back up again, because I found the Red Table Talk where Jada spoke about this whole thing about her grandmother putting her on game. This was in 2018. This was one of the original
The first one.
Red Table Talk. So it just, when I looked at that date, because when I was thinking about it, when I saw the memes and the conversations, I was like, what the? Why are we talking about this? We did this already. But so I went back and I actually listened to the conversation again, which was also a good refresher. So I thought, what if we as women, but overall, had a similar type of conversation that young boys experience when they start to go through puberty, when they start to wonder, what does this do? Why does this, when I sit like this, when I ride my bike, all of a sudden it feels different than when I rode my bike the last time? There's a, so and why have we shifted the conversation about when our bodies change to we have to hide it, we have to protect it.
It's a shame to it almost.
Yes. And now it goes to, it's not really ours now. Now it's on hold. We're preserving it for our husbands. So we never really get a chance to experience our bodies, because they go from belonging to our parents to belonging to our husbands. And if we give ourselves time in the middle to experience it for ourselves, then there's a very good chance the husband part might not be so attainable for you, girl. So, so that was kind of the conversation that I wanted to have, because I think there's a lot to be said for it. There's a lot to be said for it. So y'all are caught up now.
Yeah. So I think it's a legitimate thing, because just thinking from so first of all, I want to say, what I would like to know, or like to figure out as we're doing that, is how to do it in a healthy way, because I don't think that the way that as young men we are introduced to that conversation is typically something that is healthy. So yes, there is a sense of freedom, so to speak, in there. Like, we're not given the same type of shame that young ladies are, but ours is nowhere near healthy, and it's in some instances part of the reason why we struggle with intimacy beyond sex, the idea of sex. So I agree with you now from the standpoint, and also from the standpoint of, I'm thinking about the purity culture, the effects of purity culture has had on a lot of young ladies, and how hurtful that's been, not only to them psychologically first, but then transfers into how difficult it is for them to enjoy, which is what you're talking about, how to enjoy pleasure even in the construct of marriage, and then going over into, now your husband has to, try to figure this out. And so it's like, but wait a minute, again, all along she's been told this is nasty, bad, right? All these other things that she's got to undo, and she doesn't know if she likes this or what she likes, so I mean, we're piling things on top of it. So yeah, I absolutely agree. We got to figure out a healthy way to have these conversations, healthy way to get young ladies to experience and to I don't know what the word is, but something to make this not a bad thing. Like,
I think it's relearning what body positivity is, and that pleasure, there's still a certain, like, pleasure is for everyone, but we have to be honest about the responsibilities that come with it when you open that level of self, because that's one of the, that's a different connection with self, period. If you're talking about, you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And then when you try to, when and then when you bring a partner into it, then you have to, if you're not confident with self, you now are balancing another person's confidence in the most intimate act that's supposed to be, the vulnerability is supposed to be in the sharing, not in the performance. And is this right? Is this what it's supposed to be in the, I want to make you feel good, and you know what good feels like. So I want to be able to connect with that. You know what I mean? So like, I think it is a relearning for both men, for little boys and girls. I completely agree with you. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, you know, that there's some work to be done on both sides. It's true.
So Pastor Burns hat. I think also part of the beauty is in the learning together. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that like the intent of what we're trying to say is, you want to know what pleasure is, and that pleasure is for you and not just for your partner. But the beauty of this intimate moment is that you both learn yourself, the other person, together in this, you know, sanctified space that is supposed to be. So I think that's the part what we're missing sometimes when we're trying to explain this. Like, we're not
and then
saying
it becomes a what we like. This is our way.
Yeah, this is our way, and our way includes what each of us likes, doesn't like. We figure out we don't like this and laugh about it. We figure out, oh, when you did this, and you know, and that's our little secret that we have amongst one, you know. So I get that's what we're trying to do, but often, like you said, we're so busy caught up in the shame of the fact that at 13 this feels good, and now I don't know how to respond to the fact that this feels good and I'm not, you know, so it's and it convolutes what we're trying to do. So yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. And it's something that I think we're in a very fragile space. Like, I'm very, very glad we're having the conversation. But I think that we, like the previous conversation where we can't rush it. Like, we have to be very intentional in how we do that. And I think before we take this show to the babies, we have to be willing to deal with that with ourselves first. Because if we're practicing unhealthy sexual habits, whether it be with self or with others, because kids do and see, they do what they see, you know what I mean? Not what we say. So if we're not practicing it, not necessarily being perfect, but if you are not going through what you need to be able to be the example, your children are not going to trust that this is the way. You know what I mean? And I think that that's important for us. Like, we've got to get real. If we really, really want to change it, it has to be more than what we say. At this point, these kids are way exposed to way too much. Their life is giving them way too much. It's not even a YouTube thing. Like, these kids are being exposed to actual life, human interactions that are fast forwarding we're not ready. So like, now we have to get ready and be very, very intentional about it, because this is shaping how they see us and themselves.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about that y'all boy real quick. Y'all boy says, so Kevin Samuels says that if a woman
curfew gets higher and higher. Damn.
You said what?
Our curfew gets shorter and shorter. Last time we was in the bed by 8. Now we can't go out after 5.
Kevin says that if a woman does not want to have sex, then she should not go out on dates after 5 p.m. So I said, ladies and gentlemen, what do y'all agree with this? Is this a thing? I had never heard of this before. So yeah, should ladies who do not want to have sex not go on dates after 5 p.m.? That's what he said.
You've never heard this before because you hang out with smart people. That's why.
I'm thinking it takes a whole lot of smarts, but you know.
No, I don't agree with him. That's silly.
I'm interested. Well, I know you don't agree. I'm interested in what are your thoughts on this, on that line of thinking.
It's saying that there's an expectation that if you're dating that you're supposed to have sex, and that is
that's what he's saying.
That is trash. Like that, I don't agree with that. It isn't even if the fact that he said it. If anybody would have said that, I would have said that is trash. Like, no.
I mean, but is this a common?
I would not think so. No.
Yeah, that you hear from. So so as a man, let me say this. I think most men who are no. As a man, let me say this. The reality is if a man is dating you, he wants to have sex with you. So let's just be
right.
Clear about that.
Yes.
Like that's not a So my logic was when I read it, I was like, I mean, if we're going out at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 11 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock, like that to me doesn't change. The people who I know would say, if I'm going out with you, this is what I want.
Doesn't matter what time.
And not so much, no matter what time. So, and even not even saying that it's an expectation, but it's an expectation at some point. Like if we're in this is my expectation. I'm not going out with you so we can sit around and read books. Like that's not what we're here for. This is not a part. It's a part of the program. Absolutely. Like that's what. So to me, the time frame of saying after 5 o'clock to me didn't make much sense because I'm like, I don't understand what, like, because it's the nighttime. That means that like afterwards, the expectation is we're supposed to go then because it's nighttime.
Because this is the time for nakedness. This is how we do our bullet points. Like this doesn't even, to me, this doesn't have anything to do with dating. This doesn't have anything to do with actually identifying if this person is going to be compatible with me anytime with clothes on. That's what this says to me. The people who identify with this are saying, like, to this degree, that are putting that time frame on it or saying you just shouldn't be out here at all type things. Like, they don't, that's not what they're here for. Relationships aren't what they're even talking about. You know what I mean? So like, no, it doesn't make any sense because, relationships are so much more than sex. So you going out for dinner doesn't mean that we're supposed to be sexing after dinner. That's not what that's saying. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, again, we gonna go out for lunch, like brunch.
I'm not going to be spending my time, an extended period of time, with a person that I don't see moving through the stages with. And when I identify that I don't want to move through any more stages with you, we're gonna not be with each other anymore. That's how that will go.
Okay, so as you were saying that, I thought, so could this be for people who really like, so you just said that if I don't see myself wanting to be with this person, then I'm not going to, basically waste my time.
Right.
Could this be for people who don't? Because we know that there are ladies who go out with dudes just for a meal. Is that for that group of people to say, like,
yeah, I think this qualifies for those folks. This tracks with that line of quid pro quo. To me, there's an understanding. Those people have an understanding. And when I start to side eye is when you're a woman who leads with the understanding of I'm going to get this free meal, and then you got a side eye when this man is talking about he wants some. Well, you understand this. This is a transaction that's happening here. And that might make some people pissed off because I'm a woman and I'm saying that. But like, that's a transaction that's happening. It blows my mind for a man to expect to get naked at the end of the night, but then don't want to spend no money. He want to go 50-50. That's part of the process, sir. Like that's what's happening. I don't want you to start soapboxing now about, we both getting sick, that's not how that works. That's the transaction that's happening there. You're not here for the relationship. You're not here for your brilliant personality. You're here to eat. So you got a full tummy so you can get it in. Like, let's not do this. So like, I side eye men and women alike when they start trying to do the transaction across the line. Now you want benefits. That's not, you just sign up for the benefits package that includes feelings. That's not how that works. You check your box, I check mine. We get naked, have a good life. Like that's how that works. Like,
but if that's not what you're here for,
don't play that game. Don't play that game. because that's how they play that game. Like that's how it's played. And so I
If we
respect
look for a
it.
transaction, then
Yes,
let's
if
stick
that's
to a
how you
transaction.
roll, play with the folks who roll that way. That's my only critique of that. Is you need to identify your people and play with your people. Is when you start to manipulate the folks that ain't here for that. Is when I start to say, now you wrong. Now you shouldn't be over there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Okay. You said Kevin in Mama Dia voice. It doesn't make any sense. Listen, that's your king. That's y'all king. That's y'all boy.
Whose man is this?
That's
I
y'all
keep
boy.
asking the people, whose man is this?
Boy. I don't know, boy. David said respect the transactional agreement if that's what it is. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. If that's what you decide, then that's what you got to go with.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. This is a new one we just added. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I found this one yesterday. She says, my husband has a hidden investment account where his beneficiaries are his ex-wife and son. I think he opened this investment account while we were married. Also, we have an account where the same son is the beneficiary along with the other children of my husband. How can I stop and make it fair? My husband doesn't know that I know about his hidden investment. Do I consult first with the lawyer, or do I talk to my husband about his wrong action? What steps do I have to take in order to safeguard my finances?
I had quite a few questions. I'm sure Miss Penny did too. I wonder if they have children together, and if they do, if there are, they do. Okay, I wasn't quite sure. Because he says for those kids and his other children. So I didn't know if like there were other kids outside of those that he made with the ex-wife, or what. So
I think she meant her kids and his kids are on the other one. So the kids they have together and the other son is on that is beneficiaries on that account.
Okay. The issue, the fact that it's hidden makes me wonder, like that she doesn't know. So that I thought about that after I replied to you. It was like, the hidden investment account makes me wonder. But I also wonder, does he also have accounts for their children together? The money that he is putting into that investment account, is that coming out of their household? Is there something that is it being taken out of their household? Because that would depend on how their finances are set up. Do they have our money and then this is your portion and then my portion? I do what I want to with this part of my money, and this, if that's their agreement, is the investment account being funded by that money? The fact that it happened after they got married, is this because his situation changed where now he can afford this, now that something has changed at work and now he has investment type money? You know what I mean? Like I've got some questions. But after I thought about the details, I would think if this were my situation, the main issue that I would have with this would be that it was hidden from me. But that's probably it. And if I was a parent who was not really participating in the day-to-day, like if I was not a very hands-on parent, like I was not really participating to the actual parenting of this child, I wouldn't trip about the ex-wife being there either. You know what I mean? If I knew that my husband, who had fathered a child with another woman, did not put in the proper amount of time, because regardless of what your feelings are, you know what proper is, what parenting looks like, what fatherhood should show up like. If I knew that my husband was not that type of father, and that woman was carrying the parental weight, the way I'm built, I wouldn't have a problem with that. We'd have to discuss the hidden part, but that's the extent of the discussion.
If he was carrying his weight and still had this account set up, would you have a problem?
Probably not. Because I mean, it's an investment account. It's not like sis is getting a check every month or something. You know what I mean? Like
if he passes, then you get a cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Like there's so
beneficiary.
many variables attached to that type of thing. Like I'm not even
Yeah.
worried about that. Like I probably wouldn't stress about. I don't see myself stressing about that like that.
Yeah, I think the major thing, and I, when you answered earlier, I didn't say anything. I was like,
No, you didn't.
my major thing was that it was hidden. It was hidden, which means, or could mean, there is a probability that there are other things that are out there that she doesn't know about too. So I would be very intrigued to find out what everything he has. What else does he have out there, and what does he have for all of his children and for his wives? Because there was nothing on there about what he left for her. So if does he have life insurance? Does he have something else? And why is this not some place where people can get to it? I think that's the biggest problem. I've seen so many times where something happens to to a parent, to somebody, and we don't even know where that blasted documentation is. We don't know where the accounts are. We don't know where anything is. So now you have to figure out how you're going to bury this person if there is an inheritance. So listen, even if so first of all, don't hide it. Let me just say that. But even if you didn't want to tell your spouse, which they should have wrote the first question about, I don't know if they'd have won, but that's, but
she just might not like anything having to do with that baby and that woman. And that could be why he didn't want to share it. Like it might not have any ill intent other than I don't want to smoke about this.
And you know what? If I, as his financial advisor, if he told me that, and I could like, okay, I get that, then you still need a document. Put it in a safe, put it in your someplace. Somebody in your family. There's nobody in your family, a sister, a brother, somebody who you can give this to that says, in case something happens to me, pull this out, get us to.
I'm sure the ex-wife knows. I'm pretty sure she's fully aware that it's there. Yeah, but you mean in general? Yes, I would agree. Yeah, most of but I'm pretty sure they gotta understand, and she's probably the co-beneficiary or whatever. Like he's probably who it's for, and she's if he goes before the baby's 18 or at this particular, isn't that how they do like trust and stuff for when
he goes into a trust? So she would be a trustee.
Like if he's not a certain of age to take ownership of it and yada yada yada, then she might have the fact that she saw that woman's name on the account could have had her seeing red, and she lost all comprehension. Her name is on the paperwork. I saw her name. I don't know what she on there for, but her name is on the paperwork, and I don't know nothing about it.
Let me tell you.
I mean, I'm being silly.
I've had situations like that before. I've had clients, and I'm like, you do know he has a child. There's a child there that like
a minor child.
There's a child. Like this isn't about him and her. This is about the child. Let's stay focused.
Yeah.
He's leaving all the money to no. He's leaving money to his child. Let's think this through. So
get it in order and get someone as an executor. Is that what they call it? Executor?
Of the estate. You can if it's in this, you can get an executor, put your will together, get you a trust together. Like, come on, let's
your people crazy. You got crazy people. Make it so they don't even have to be the one arguing about it. Have somebody else show up and say this is just what it is. Ain't no argument.
Here's the thing. So for those who don't understand, in the case that this did not happen, so here's a little money mentor for you.
Teach the people, yep.
So in the instance that this does not happen, what could legitimately happen is, depending on how long you were married, the second wife can take everything and give your son by the other lady absolutely nothing. Yep. And hold on, it gets better. And what could happen in that situation is the first wife can then go after the second wife and take her to court to try to get a part of the money for the child, especially if you have been married for 10 years. for at least 10 years. And then what winds up happening is all your money go to the lawyers.
And nobody gets nothing. All your babies home.
Nobody get anything. So this is why him having beneficiaries is admirable. It's very what's necessary, but put it in paper, put it plain. Again, unless there is a legitimate reason, not just because I don't want to make her mad, but no, listen, hey, and this, to be honest, that's the conversation you should have had before you married. Listen, I have a son, I have a daughter, I have children by said woman. I am leaving them an inheritance. So you're gonna have to get over it. Let's deal with that now.
Right. So
that way, because if something happens to me, I am not going to leave my children by this woman without any inheritance. We good? Okay. Now, and then I've got this for your children. Our children.
Yeah.
Our children. I've got this, so that way everybody. Because I was surprised she's talking about some on the thing. She's talking about some, so I can protect my finance. I'm like, what? How? If he has something with your children, we don't even know if you're
protecting. Yeah.
What you
He's
mean?
not stealing it for that's what I say. She sounds crazy to me. This sounds a little off to me. She sounds like she's got issues with them, with the previous family.
She want all the money.
She want all the money. Like the fact that they getting it all, and it needs to his wrong action and all of this other she sounds very accusatory in that conversation. So yes, it's important. It's very important to have these conversations with someone. I will not be up here telling folks that it's easy, because it's not. If you guys watch Insecure, it took Molly the entire damn final season to get her people to get their papers together. Okay. It took them a long time. It is a hard conversation to think about finality, but you do not want your people to have to grieve and deal with this business. Let them go through all of their things without that worry.
Make it easier. Yeah. Real talk. Just make it easier. It's a lot easier to okay, stuff is in order. We know where this is. Let's go ahead. Here's the insurance. Here's the this. Here's the that, and be done. Okay. We got, instead of, Lord, the multiple times I've had to go to services, and we got to stand outside and collect money before they'll finish the service because we ain't had no insurance money, or we don't know where the insurance money is. So we think there's insurance money out there, only to find out it wasn't no insurance money, and we're in trouble. So let's have the conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, people.
Yeah, protect your people. All right, that was Hot Topics.
Good stuff.
That was Hot Topics. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, go ahead. Lead us into this to our other topic.
Lead us in.
Lead us in. That sounds super churchy, didn't it?
Yeah, it does. I was about to say, I feel like I should have a verse or something, and I do not have a verse. I do not have one. Well, this section of the scoop in section 8 and 55. No, I'm playing.
You're an MLK fan.
Huh?
You get your fan with MLK.
Right. Black Jesus. I prefer Black Jesus. Hook me up with a good Black Jesus for one time. With a gold crown. Yes.
Gold crown.
Yes.
Gold crown. Absolutely.
Because I'm fancy.
We like Black Jesus.
We like Black Jesus. Right?
Like Black Jesus.
All right, y'all. So anyway, as you all know, I missed last week, and we spoke with one of my favorite guests, period, the end, Bishop Charles Martin, where we discussed attachment styles. And I wanted to come back and just kind of, I want to be caught up, to be perfectly honest with you. I won't win to kind of give us some recap of that. And I want to get in on that conversation and share some thoughts on that. And we are also going to, because we've got things today. We've got a twofer. We're also going to talk about how we can adjust for our new normal. How are we going to adjust our goals, our real life goals and expectations with this new normal? that we have right now, because these things do go hand in hand in a lot of ways, because our attachment styles, from what I've learned about attachment styles, they can absolutely shift based on your experiences. I would like to say either good or bad, or positive or negative, however you want to look at it. Our attachment styles affect how we show up, how we react to different things and different people and different circumstances. So that absolutely relates to how we goal set, how we execute, how we bounce back when that time comes, and how we navigate now that our normal has changed. So quite a bit to think about. I want to start off by sharing my attachment style, because although I was not here in the flesh, I was absolutely here in spirit. I did my homework and took the attachment style quiz that I know good brother Wynn shared with the people. And I'm going to share my quick results. So I scored the highest in anxious preoccupied with 33%. Dismissive avoidant came in at 28%. Fearful avoidance, I came in at a 22%, and secure 17%. Which initially I was like, what?
I said when I got mad.
What? Especially the fact that secure was the lowest scoring for me. And I thought to myself, I don't know about that. But then when I really, I did not want to accept that. Okay. And then, the fact that I'm anxious, preoccupied, like now I'm like squirrel, like I feel all of these words did not trigger good feelings for myself as I was reading through these things. And the fact that the one that I identified with the most of being secure was the one that I did not score the highest in. So just being very transparent about myself before I even got the synopsis of what it all meant and how it might really make sense for me. Just hearing those words were like, wait, this got to be wrong. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to share real quick what anxious, preoccupied personalities, how we show up a little bit, or why this may be what it may be.
So before you do that, can I just say real quick what an attachment style is for those who weren't here?
Yes, please.
Okay, so for those who weren't here, an attachment style is defined. It refers to the particular way in which an individual relates to other people. So an attachment style is formed at the beginning of life, and it is typically formed by how typically how we have related or we interpreted the relationship in our formative years. So with our parents. So it is the basis of how we relate to other people. So, okay, so now go.
Okay. So, thank you for that. So like I said earlier, my primary attachment style was anxious, preoccupied. And this is real quick, y'all. So I'll be quick. Relationships can bring up fears around abandonment and ending up alone, which can make you feel quite anxious, unsafe, and insecure. This can cause many challenges within your relationships, because rather than focusing on whether your loved ones meet your needs and respect your boundaries, your fears take over and you may people please and abandon yourself to avoid being left. These issues most likely form during childhood due to inconsistent emotional support, meaning that your needs around connection were sometimes unmet. As a result, you're probably highly empathic and can form very deep connections with others. You're a fantastic friend and very reliable. But sometimes your need for closeness and insecurities can cause you to give too much and make you feel like you're not enough, or cause your worst fears to come true and push people away, which sends you into a complete panic. This is not your fault. Oh, never mind. That's when homeboy goes into his spiel about trying to sell me something about myself. So I'm going to save y'all from that because I passed. But anyway, that was them reading me. And after I got through it, I will say there is some truth to this. Okay. If you want to be read like that read me, I encourage you to click the link that Wynn just shared at the bottom of there. Because yeah, and then really reflect on it. Get past the initial of, you know, feeling how you feel, and then really dig into what that's saying there. Yeah, because it was all over my little toes. Yeah. Why are you blinking? What are your thoughts, bro? What are your thoughts?
Listen, I'm the same as you.
Oh, really?
So
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I was like, when I was like, I'm secure. And I took the test. I was like, yeah, I'm secure. I'm and it's like anxious, preoccupied. And then I read it. I was like, oh, it's me.
Because you
And
know
my-
our attachment
my-
style is different
Yes, let
than
me just
our
give you a
personality.
Well, it shows up. Our person, and so yesterday, so our attachment style is a part of our personality, but what a lot of us have done is a lot of us have tried to cover our attachment style with certain parts of a built up personality. Let me say that.
Okay.
So for example, to cover that I really long for a relationship, I'll act like I really don't need one. Like to cover that I might be insecure in an area. So let's look at men. So we see men who really they want relationships, but what they'll do is they'll settle for a bunch of sexual partners.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by we'll create certain things about ourselves in order to try to not show the things that we think are bad.
Yeah.
So
I can see that. That's real.
Yeah. So what did you think about? I mean, I think, what did you think about it? So for those, again, let me real quick. So it's secure, it's avoidant, it's dismissive, and preoccupied, right? Is that 4? Yeah.
Yes.
So a lot of times we are creating like we don't understand why we do certain things, but a lot of the things that we're doing because of how we are relating who we are to other people. So one of the things about, for example, like a preoccupied attachment style is preoccupied. It's very difficult for them to have a positive self-image and feel worthy. So sometimes in relationships, they will either cover that or they'll be in relationships and come off as needy.
Yeah. So yeah. So the people pleasing stood out to me. I've struggled with that in a real way. I believed every bit of you're responsible, you are I fell into the good girl trope very easily, whereas it was easy for me. Like I dug it, and 95% of the time I probably wanted to do that thing. You know, I was happy with being in the lane that I was in, but I can see how that has also been very restrictive. Whereas if I wanted to figure out something else, or if I wanted to not do the right thing sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, and I know that might sound crazy, but that's just how extreme it feels when you have these types of personalities. Sometimes it swings that way. And that has created some challenges for me. you know, being able to choose to do what doesn't align with the image. You know what I mean? When you're put into different boxes, when people that are important to you, when checking the boxes positions you in the places that you're trying to be, and it works for you, it makes you a little less reluctant to step out of the box and try something that's unproven. And it makes it hard to set boundaries with people, as far as how much of the box you want to be in if you don't like the box anymore. A lot of us still roll long after we want to do a thing, or we're still invested the same way we initially were, simply because it's what we signed up for. We're very dutiful personalities. I would, you know, if now knowing that you two are preoccupied in the same way, that helps me to, you know, get a kinship with how these types of other, you know, how others might also fall into this. And we're very much, I'm going to be accountable to what I signed up for. People are counting on me. They expect a certain thing, you know, they expect a certain me. You know, this is who I am, you know, and when you start to wonder if who you are is changing, you are usually the last person willing to give yourself permission to make those changes. And you question it up until like the change is made and you're okay with, like, it's settled and that there is agreement. Even if it's just with self, like, you have to have some agreement that the change was good and now you can move forward. Like, that's just how that works. Yeah.
Yep. It's a thing. I think Shanae says I'm working and watching, so I can't comment, but I'm nodding my head. We got you.
Which is this?
Yeah. It's very eye opening, and then to recognize how your attachment style manifests itself with somebody else's attachment style was even more eye opening for me. So like we talked about last week, we talked about how being somebody who is who can lean towards people pleasing, being with somebody who is the exact opposite.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not.
It's not. Now those two people together, even though it can cause tension, you know, it can cause tension, but it also can help you become secure because you are learning from one another. And so you're picking up on their non-people pleasing ways, and they're picking up on your people pleasing ways. And hopefully at some point it kind of balances both of you out, so that you recognize, like you said, like, it's really okay to maneuver through life in a way that's not the way that I see life, or that, you know, or so it's hard.
It is.
It's hard. Yeah, which is why we talk about it, because because if we're going to get to a place as a person where we are secure, which should then lead us into more secure relationships, then we have to look at the brokenness and the ugly that's within us that can cause brokenness and ugliness to come out in our relationship. Because sometimes the problem is us.
Yeah. Yep.
Sometimes the problem is us.
Sometimes the old thing is done. Like, and it's time to do a new thing. Like, that might have not worked. Like, looking back, I don't know if that really benefited me. If the box that I got put in overall has really benefited me the way that especially now where I'm headed now, like, every really, really, really dope thing that has happened. And I'm going to, since we're talking in the next part of this, you know, as far as like how the last 2 years has affected us, like, the last 2 years have been life-changing for me. Negative and positive, on a quick flashback now that I think about it, but have been life-changing. And every time I have made a turn or there's been a light, there's been something positive. I've been more proud of myself. It has been when I've done something that was totally different than what I've been pre-programmed to do. So like I've really had to, and that has changed how I've set goals. That's changed the way that I say yes, the way that I say no, the way that I say even I'm interested or not. You know what I mean? Not even a matter of if I'm interested. You know what I mean? And in the past, every time I was offered, I was in. Let's go. You know what I mean? What do you need me for? Because they need me. The people need me. Not all the people need me all the time. You know what I mean? There's a difference in the people and my people. And I'm now giving myself permission to hone in on my people. And when certain people don't want to be my people anymore, I don't hit them with it. Why are you being weird to me? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I might not be your people anymore. And I'm okay with that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think
you don't even notice it. You don't even really know. I think so. What I think security does
don't notice it.
Is you become more and more secure, you become okay with, not just become okay with it, but you come to expect it, because just as you're evolving and you're growing, the expectation is for those around you to evolve and grow. And so if a person evolves and grows outside of the box that you've created, then that is okay. Yeah. And it's and actuality, it should be celebrated. Yeah. Because now you are, hopefully what you evolved and grown into is a better you.
Yeah.
So, go for it.
Yeah. One of the things I had to realize is I can't claim to be a person who loves growth and evolution and all the beauty that comes with that, and then be like, I don't like change.
It's not gonna happen.
That's the same thing. One's just prettier. One sounds sexier than the other. That is change. Like, and if you're unwilling to just go through the very basic of change, you won't even be willing to see the beauty in growth or evolution. Like those two things are, even when you think about it, just different versions of the very same thing. So like we can't skip the levels thinking that it's just going to magically happen, or we're just going to morph and voila, we're here. That's not how that happens. That's not how that happens.
But back to the original, if you don't recognize that a part of why you struggle with that is because you have said attachment style that equates, just like I did, and I wrote about this in my book, that equates certain things with certain things. Then now you're thinking every time somebody grows that they're leaving you or mad at you or something is wrong with you.
Right.
When in actuality, it's like, no, I've served my purpose in their life, and they're and I'm good with that, and I've done my job. And so, but that's hard to do if you won't confront yourself enough to say, no, I'm feeling like this because I'm afraid, because I have some insecurity in me, and I'm afraid that, again, I like the comfort of the people I know, and I'm afraid that I'm not going to get any more friends, because I got some work to do.
And I think this also holds us back in the realm of romantic relationships before we get into, it keeps us like, if this, it's easy to go for what we know, even when what we know isn't good for us. That is how we end up missing on that right thing. Like that one that got away. A lot of the times this has so much to do with it. I think, and knowing the different levels of these, like not only knowing the one that I had, not only my primary, but knowing how the others relate to it and what the others are will help me to identify it in other people. And then I can even begin to say, okay, this is now the time for me to identify, this is my me thing. It's easier when we put something like, I'm more willing to say my attachment style is keeping me from my good thing right now. You know what I mean? That's because that's the type of person that I am. Like, it's easy for me to put a name on a thing, and it's easier for me to position it differently, because now it's not just me being weird and not being able to understand why this is pushing me. You know what I mean? Now I need to change how I'm attached to this thought process. because this thing is not dangerous. It's just different. You know what I mean? Sometimes we allow how we're attached to even the negative stuff to keep us from our different, because different feels dangerous when we're still stuck in, I know how to handle this. Like this, I can handle. I've created a space where the people around me have catered to this part of me. So I don't have to stretch past this because these groups of folks know me and they're just like, that's just them. You know what I mean? But when these people also say they love me and look a lot like these people, but they show up different. And they push me and they don't go away and they keep coming back. Like they show up. Yeah, I know you didn't like that. You still mad? You ain't mad. You ain't mad. Okay, let's try again. You know what I mean? But these people show up. So this doesn't really feel like I like these people. They feel good. Like I know they rock with me, but this doesn't feel like this feels. I don't feel as secure over here that I feel over here. But maybe like that's where we have to be able to be willing to do a little different and see, you know what I mean, if that's okay. And I think that is the sweet spot.
Yeah.
One.
Yep. And you get I'll say this, the other thing that will help is along the journey, celebrate the changes. So as you're recognizing, like, okay, if you recognize my attachment and you'll start, as you say, like if you can say, this is something that's happening for my attachment style, what you'll do is you'll start recognizing the triggers, you'll start recognizing your responses, you'll start recognizing, like I posted yesterday, when instead of saying that you're healed, you just covering up, you'll recognize all of that. But as you actually start to see yourself becoming more secure, take a moment, like, you know what? I used to respond like this to that. And I didn't this time. That's growth. And like celebrate that, because again, the goal is for all of us to become secure.
Yep.
So I found this graphic the other day. I want to share it because this is my thing. This is my new jam now. So I just want to.
You're the attachment dude.
Listen, I'm about to be the attachment guy. But it was talking about how to become securely attached. And so it says, establish safety, identify and express all of your emotions, clarify your values, practice self-care, and set boundaries. Bingo.
That is a word.
Bingo. So if we can do these things, then it's going to help us become securely attached people. And they're hard things. First of all, let me just say this. All of these things on here are super hard, especially if they're things that that you've never done before.
Oh, you're good. You can put it back over. Yeah.
If they're things that you've never done before, but if you just learn, set boundaries, practice self-care, establish safety, identify and express all of your emotions, and clarify your values, you can make some huge changes, uncomfortable changes, and your life will change because people around you will change.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, these are all good things. So, all good things. I'll post these too for those.
Yeah,
that's a good one. For those who want this. So, yeah. What to say? Shanae says, very true. I struggle with blaming myself and not wanting to be that person. I've grown to the point I don't give a now I need to scale by not give a button back. Yes. that's that pendulum we talk about.
Yeah.
Because we typically go from one extreme to the next, and then life lets us settle back in the middle. That's okay. That's good. I said Q was brought into my life to hold a mirror to me. She taught me how to process thoughts past an initial reaction. She didn't hold back, and I love her for that.
Listen, I love you too, sis. And my live keeps closing, and so I can't respond to your comment. But Wynn will tell you, and Shanae knows this. I ain't telling Shanae that she don't already know. But Shanae has grown me in the very same way. Sis has held a similar mirror to your girl as far as patience, because I'm a very I said what I said type of person. Very much so. Like I take great care of my words to make sure that we don't have to go back and forth about the what did I say. Like, you know what I mean? I like to get deeper, but I don't do the whole repetition thing. So like I used to initially when we first met, we had a lot of words that would always go back and forth. And that would be a lot for me sometimes. And I would go with when he was like, I know, but like listen to what's being like. He would have to work with me a little bit, you know, and say, but y'all are saying the same thing, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the times he would say, yeah, but like she's pretty much saying what you're saying, and I'm like, I know, but why can't we just say that and move on? Like, so there's been a lot of work that has taken place, and this is a very good example. So I know that's probably not what you were meaning to do, but like I have to be fully transparent in that because Shanae has often given me my props for how I've helped grow her, but that is very, very mutual in the fact that I did not have and I've seen personalities like her, like she was positioned right when she was supposed to be for the next moves that I needed to make. I was able to see folks who don't care about me the way that she does care. And even when we didn't agree, we still saw eye to eye. These folks, we don't have no eyes in the same realm. So like, but I still can identify that, and it's helped me to move different, to move better, to become more effective, to be a better communicator. So like that is understanding the necessary growth, even when it didn't feel like it was necessary. Because I was like, but it was clear though, like you got it. Everybody else got it. Why I got to keep going back and forth about it? Like, why do I have to be like, let somebody else catch them up? But that's not their message to share. So it's my job as the facilitator. If this is the work I'm going to do.
You the mama. You the mama, you the big sister.
My gift. If this is my thing, I gotta own all of the accountability of showing up and being what I'm supposed to be when I'm exercising my gift. So like that's, I think we all want to be happy about our gifts and tell everybody how gifted we are, but there's a lot of responsibility that comes with these gifts, you know. So it's mutual, sis. And yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And yeah, Candace, you know, I said what I said, all caps, like, and the side, like, come on now.
Said, yes, you absolutely make sure you choose your words of care. I'm learning that too. Yeah. Yes, because Lisa Q will get you. Yes, she will. Absolutely.
Listen, I just want us all to be better.
Absolutely.
And when I ain't better, I own it. If I'm messing up, I'm gonna tell you to. I ain't always right.
Yeah. So how does this? And yeah, let's go ahead and transition to this other conversation. So how does this attachment styles and in general? I mean, like, how do we make? Yeah. I think a lot of us. I have. I realized today I have been teaching / preaching on transition for like the last 2 years. Because I didn't realize
transitioning.
I didn't realize that until today. Until I heard something that I did beginning of last year. I'm like, I've been talking about this for 2 years now, huh? Interesting. For at least 2 years. So yeah, I mean, but I think now it's getting even more intense. And some of I feel like 2022 is like, okay, y'all didn't get it all the way right in 21. Let's try this again. Let's run this back for a lot of us. Let's run this back and let's do this better. Let's do this. Yeah.
I think it's finally real in 2022. I think previously we thought this was going to be a temporary thing. They kept talking like it was going to be over soon.
You're talking about Corona.
Life, all of these changes, of these changes and the things that facilitated them. You got to think we've gone through a new president, like we've had a politics shift. We've had, all kinds of things that are happening, that have happened, that have been all while trying to stay alive. You know what I mean? So all of those things happening along with this was the thing that has made the most aggressive shift and how like our normal day to day, regardless of what the politics and them was doing, no matter what all of those things were doing, I could still go to work. I could put my head down. I could do my thing. And kids go to school. Like there was a schedule that could be kept. Our entire way of doing life has shifted, and we haven't shifted back yet. Like there is no back. So at this point, 2 years in, there's not really room for it to be temporary anymore. So now the necessity has created we got to move now. Like I can't keep doing this. Like I got to get a real job somewhere. The checks ain't coming the way. Like, well, for those folks, you know what I mean? Like I got to get this business now. It's got to make or break it. Is this my pandemic business, or am I really going to buckle down and this my business now? You know what I mean? Like all of these different things. I've been locked up in the house with this man, this woman for all this time. I can be free now. We done both got the shot. We done, you know, whatever it is we ain't. Like now is the time to start really making these decisions. We've had a lot of time with self. We've had a lot of time with some others, you know what I mean? In a lot of different ways, a lot of FaceTime, a lot of opportunities. So now it's time to really decide. Like, I think 2 years has been enough time to do transition, to shock. Oh, we've gone through the stages of grief and all of that other stuff. And now it's time, okay, what are we doing? Like everyone is at the table like, so yeah. And what's next? And I think that's why we're having these types of conversations now. Like, what do we do? How do we really position so that we're ready to transition and still grow? Like, because that was what I think we realized. We weren't as ready as we thought we were for life to do what life does. A lot of us were not prepared for life to do what life does. Okay. Now
keep going. No. Keep going. So what do we do? Like, what's the keep going.
So for me, and definitely in relation to the attachment styles, I've had to become very, very honest with myself as far as exactly what it is I can do, like what my capacity is. I was allowed to stretch in a lot of ways during this last 2 year time frame. So like in a way, I kind of impressed myself with the new space that I moved into that kind of just snuck up on me. And I was like, oh, well, here I am. You know what I mean? And it was different. And it was because I didn't have a choice but to be there. But it also highlighted some of the things that I need to work on as far as like my boundary setting. I'm not good at saying I don't have the space for that. Like, no, I'll figure it out. Like, oh yeah. I'm sure I can. That thing's not as big as it ain't as big as a deal as I thought. Like, I am bad at that, and I have got to get better. I've made it a priority to get better, and I think I've made steps in that direction. But that's about to be tested with this next phase that I'm getting ready to go into. Am I going to just say yes, because I'm new and I'm trying to impress and I'm trying to tell them that I can do it and I'm happy to be here? You know what I mean? So like, as soon as I hit this new realm of understanding of self, then here comes life giving me another opportunity to test. Are you really, do you really do as good at that as you think? So those are one of the things, like my goal setting has to be more grounded, still ambitious, but realistic, because what I do to myself when I set these above the rim goals, that I do not have the capacity to even get in the realm of, you know what I mean? And I'm awesome. Like, I know I'm awesome and I got it in me, but I know that I can't go from A to X in one leap. You know what I mean? And I used to think that was a possibility because they told me I could do it. I can do anything. Well, no, baby. You know what I mean? So
sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, you know, so that's just one way that I've had to get real honest with myself. Because what I do to myself when I don't reach it is more harmful to giving myself the blocks.
So is there a like happy medium between not too aggressive versus not too not aggressive enough? Is there, like, how do you figure out what a good goal is then in that space?
It's got to scare me a little bit, but it can't take my breath away. Because this is a baby step. This is a baby step. So I still have to feel that it's possible. It's got to be something that's possible for me, but it's got to make me uncomfortable. I need to be a little, all right, I'm going to have to pause first. Like, okay, wait. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that is how I know that it is positioned right. Like it's in the realm of where I need to be. Because when I start to, because that's I think is a big part of my anxiety. When I started to level what my true capacity was, I realized I don't have as much worry as far as that overwhelming type of anxiety that I used to have, that debilitating type of anxiety.
So you're still there, but it's just not
Oh
as
yeah.
okay.
That's a part of my personality.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
I'm hopeful, but that's just I'm a high strung chick. As chill as I am, when it gets time to getting business done, like
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
But you also, my experience has been you do that, and this is I think the thing that like me and Kels probably appreciate the most is that you will do that, but then you also have the ability to slow down, back up, and then go into like step process mode.
Yeah.
Like, okay, hold on, here's the process, and you're able to do that very succinctly, which is very good. Um,
Thank you.
yeah.
It's kind of it's kind of one of those things, but it works.
I think because for me, I'm the exact opposite. So first of all, let me say, I think the boundary piece is huge. The boundary thing has been my thing all year. I've been like team figuring out boundaries, team like reassessing. Okay, this boundary is was good. Let's just get a little too open now. Come back. And I think I'm at I would say I'm like a 75% area now with the boundary thing. But I still need goals that scare me a little bit. Like when I say a little bit, I don't mean like you said, would you say I need to
take my breath away?
I need to take my breath away. Because for me, it gets me like it gets me, but that's just where I am. And the anxiety, like that I feel, it kind of like, again, I'm like, oh, whoo, this must be it. Cause I feel like
an adrenaline. Yeah.
So anxiety. Okay. All right. This is the goal. Let's go. I think for me, the struggle is trying to decipher between when it is an arrogant goal and when it's my goal.
That's good.
Yeah, like when is this? I'm trying to do this because I just want to do it because somebody else did it and they not better than me.
In the box.
Yeah, well, you ain't better than me. I could do that. You got this. I could get that. Let me go get it. Versus, I don't even really want that. What am I doing? Like, this is not my thing. This is my thing. And this is the actual thing I really want. I don't care about that. I'm just doing that because
they did that. And they said I'm supposed to do that. Or it was the thing that everybody's doing. Yeah.
Not even so much they said it, but it was like, I mean, it's a cool thing. It's a good thing, but it's like, it ain't mine. So,
got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
So I think that's my biggest thing is
that was me talking for me, I guess, in that whole they said it.
And then trying not to do too much at one time. So I think part of my boundary is to say, like I don't have to figure out what's too much for me.
Yeah.
Like what's my fire hose? Like, hold on, I could be more effective if I do this really well, these 2 or 3 things really well, and let those other things go for now. Focus on these and then be done. Or this one thing really well, focus on this, get this going, and then move into these other things later, as opposed to I got to do them all right now.
You know what makes me wonder, just hearing you say what you just said, and then me thinking about how that plays and why it's kind of different for both of us. I think our gender also plays a huge part in how we process new things. Men, by and large, overall, are encouraged to take those types of risks. So the fact that excites you, like you're here for the take your breath away, you know what I mean? Like is it speaks to how we welcome men to get out there and sometimes not really kill it all the time, but to just do it. You know what I mean? And you all have the permission to have arrogant goals, so to speak. Whereas women, in a lot of ways, are taught to have attainable goals. And we set things that are within our reach. And that's how we get into this man is out of your league, or, you know, those types of things. We have to prepare in such a way to make ourselves even a possibility, an option. You know what I mean? So our relationship with risk is different than the relationship that men may have with risk. And that's even, you know, my personality is set a certain way, but I think there is a small group. Well, there's a certain, I won't call it small in 2022, that group is growing, but there is a group of women who have been granted the permission to take risks, fail, get up, do it again, yada yada. They put themselves in a way where they get to do that, and that's okay. But there's another group of women that have followed a more beaten path that says your family's health, wealth, the structure, the heart, you're all of these things. In your workplace, you are the glue that holds all the things together. You keep the notes, you have the minutes, you do this, to do that. Friend circle, you're the strong friend, you know, plus, you know, all these things, you got the advice, and yes, you can host the dinner and the book, like all of these things and all of that pressure comes in. And that makes it different. You know what I mean?
People sit down.
Yeah, but it's hard.
Yeah,
because so much of even this is new. The idea of freedom of these things is new. So much of just how our world works is built into that thought process. So even if this group of women decide we don't want to think this way anymore, what is that going to do for how the rest of all of these systems are created?
Yeah, sure.
You know,
sure. Yeah,
and how we benefited from them because we learned to play the game, men and women alike. So now I got to start all the way over with this new set of things, this new system.
Yep, I could definitely see that.
That was great. That's.
I think that, you know, I think that's a very good point. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I'm like, F it.
Yeah.
Do you?
It ain't just you. It's not just you.
Like,
it's not just you.
Like, just do it. Like, because I guess for me, it's like, look, if you have, like, if that's not your desire to be that, and I say this, I don't say this lightly. I recognize the totality of everything that has been put into you that enforces exactly what you just said. So please, I don't want anybody to hear what I'm about to say and just be like, oh, he don't understand because he's a man. And I fully don't understand.
It's a safe place.
I just want to say that, like, I understand that I fully don't understand because I'm a man. I recognize that. But I also still want to say, even with that, like, there is a, like, to continue to live like that when you know that's not how you're supposed to live, it's only going to debilitate you further and further. And so you have to find spaces where you cannot, or people who will support you not being that, and stay in those spaces and worry and let the system catch up to what
the system's gonna do. Right?
Because
I think that's where we are right now.
Yeah, I think that's where we are. I think in some instances we done swung kind of far to the pendulum now. However, we're gonna come back and we're gonna be paying, and I'm gonna love y'all till you come back. But we're gonna come back. But I recognize that with even the ladies, you know, excluding, not referring to you in this instance, but who are close to me. Like, I'm like, why are you doing what are you doing? Because I have to. No, the hell you don't. Sit down. What do you mean? Well, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. I'm like, and I'll be sitting there like, I'm about to have a nervous breakdown watching you. Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ, you hurt. You're making me strip. So I get that. But I think just like I've had to relearn and spend probably the last 7 years getting rid of the go back to attachment style, getting rid of the people pleasing, the you know, the growing up, the system that I grew up in that says I have to always do the right thing, but all that stuff out of me in order to find the space that is me. Like, that's the same process that everybody gonna have to go through, because we're not going to ever fully, our system, the real system that we really need, is never going to be put in place just because we wake up one day and be like, oh, you're in the system. No, we got to force it. We got to change it. We're going to have to be like, no, this ain't working for us no more. Oh, maybe we tightened it up a little too far. Let's look like we got it. We have to do that to force it. And y'all have to understand that, unfortunately, for you, y'all going to have to be the one to drive this.
Yeah. We're trying. This is a whole other show. That's another show. But that's what all this.
Good. Y'all are doing good. Even with the pendulum swing on the other side, y'all are doing good.
Listen.
I'm just saying, my point is, don't fight. Don't fight letting go of what you know no longer serves you. Like, let it go. Understand there's going to be repercussions, but don't fight that, because it is at the end of the whatever, you will be better for it. We will be better for it. We will be healthier because of what you're doing.
Yep.
And those of us from the man side who see what you're doing and what you're trying to do and see your heart will continue to stand for you, block for you, cover you, guard you, do what we can to be like, hey, sit down. You're doing too much. So we got you. But don't not stop pushing.
Well, thank you for that. On behalf of the ladies, I'm sure they're gonna hit you with the hearts and all of that, but that's real. And that's I agree. I think that we're doing a good job. And I would also agree that there is some extremities that are happening. But there was an extreme deficit that was in place.
It was always over here.
We're correcting an extreme issue. You know what I mean? So to be really, really hurt, you're going to have to swing a little hard to go the other way. You know how, as a mother, I like to practice gentle parenting. I like to initiate my discipline in the gentle parenting space. I speak at that tone that you all love so much for our ads. And, I might throw a joke in there, might giggle a little bit. And, okay, y'all, I'll be back. And I come back, and then y'all in here chilling. Y'all ain't did the thing that we talked about doing. We and we did the thing. And then I go and they say, and I come back, and then we still here, and it's, oh, so y'all just ain't heard that I was the one that was saying that we needed to do the thing. We didn't all agree, that I didn't hear the kids agree. Like, so there's an escalation that happens. And see, I think sometimes when everybody's all shocked and awed at how hard everybody's going, we forgot hey y'all, we gonna have okay, so but all we hearing is so you don't hear that I needed them dishes done. Like, so, I think that is a whole other conversation that's not necessarily, while I appreciate those high fives, I think that needs to be said more often. Absolutely. We do not hear enough of, this is extreme, but it is necessary. And they will balance out. They coming back. We ain't spent eons and eons all up under each other to just never come back. You know what I mean? But when we come back, we have decided what we were holding on to, like you said, does not serve us. And that is in all of these systems, not just in our relationships. In all of these systems, women are upturning things. So I think, it's so important that more people say what you said. I think that is so important, and why you're kind of special out here in these streets, because that thought process is what makes it easier for us to take those risks.
Yeah.
Because when you hear a whole internet of men saying we don't like this, we don't want this, and they're the high value, they're the eligible, they're the ones left.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn all the cute titles. They're the ones that are left in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes.
And if these people are saying we don't want it, but we do want it at the root, that is what we want. That's why we've let it get this bad or this far. You know what I mean? At the root, it is what we want. But like this, and we don't have no room to move. Like, you just, is this or nothing?
Right.
So like that's the conversation, fellas. If you kind of want to know where we getting, where it's coming from, like, it's the idea of this is it. This is all. There's no here. Like, we can't even discuss what happens in here.
Right.
That makes it so we okay, well, fine, F it. Over here it works. We all love each other over here. We understand the assignment over here. Gets it over here. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just when you really remove self and benefit of self from it and look at really the variables, like it's out here. That's how it gets like this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly, Shanae. It's not just women. It's any system that has to change. It had with anything, whether it be racism, our politics, all of those things. For any system to change, there's got to be an upheaval before there's better. Like, it ain't a little bit.
I mean, that's how it's going to come out, but the reality is it's changing. It's changing. I think, like I said, we're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. Y'all keep doing what you're doing.
Okay.
Keep doing what you're doing. We got you. Trust me. Listen, we're not that other guy. We ain't talking about don't go out to dinner after 5. We don't listen to him like that. So
no, he can't sit with us. They can't sit with us.
No. All right. Anything else you got for me tonight?
I just, when I pulled my arm down, like I did, I felt that shock thing just now. So I think that was my cue.
That was your body saying no. All right. What's your final thoughts? You got anything going on? I know you had a sale, 7 years.
Yes. Tomorrow I am making a restock at Back to My Roots Marketplace. Y'all heard me about the pinch neck earlier of the show. That withdrew me from restocking last week, but I'm ready. Like, it is literally in the truck, ready to just be delivered. So there is a restock at the Back to My Roots Marketplace for edge control, braid balm, shampoo and conditioner. There's a sale. There's some doubles. Okay, there is shampoo and conditioner. The shampoo with the nozzle top in the bags, with the conditioner, $20 for both. Okay, your shampoo is $7. Okay, so go pick that up. Your edge control, your braid balm, also $7. Your leave-in is going to be $7. There's some good stuff happening at Back to My Roots Marketplace. Okay, for my folks who are not here in the Oklahoma City area, on next week I will be offering a similar sale, a similar offer for you all to be able to take part in some of these sets and goodies. So elegancebydesign.com so that you all can start filling your carts in preparation for the sale. And then if you are out here in these Dale City streets, please be sure and stop by the Back to My Roots Marketplace and get your goodies in store.
Absolutely. 7 years is a long time. Good job.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Ups and downs, highs and lows, but we still in the game. Growing hair, growing hands, growing hair.
That's how it is.
Yep.
In these entrepreneur streets.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, so I don't know if you all, those who, I just announced this last week, I just released my first workbook. Your Mastering Our Money workbook. You can go and get it off of my site. I still ain't changed the price, Lord. Y'all better hurry up before I go change the price. It's gumroad.com/Winfred Burns II. I just thought about it like, oh shoot, I ain't changed the price. Hold on, .com/ yeah. So I had a price up there for people on my email list, and it's still there. So I need to, as soon as we get off, I'll give it to tomorrow. But the price goes up. What did he say? The price goes up.
Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Today's price. Tomorrow's price will not be today's price. Let me say that.
Remix.
Yeah, so you better go get it. Gumroad.com/Winfred Burns II. So what it is a workbook that will walk you through managing your money. So how you can, to help you walk through creating a smart action plan for your money. So it talks about end of life planning. It talks about what you need to do to get out of debt and create wealth. It walks you through some of the things you need to do to find areas in your budget where you can save money. So it's a very complete, complete workbook. So go pick it up at gumroad.com/Winfred Burns II.
Better get these goodies. I know I have my worksheet up this weekend. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and it's digital, so you can, either do it online or print it. And yeah, do it with you. My cousin was doing it. She was like, this is a little deep, cuz. She said we had to take a break from this one.
it's
and
time to
come
go
back.
in.
So we
Yeah.
had to come back to this one. We wasn't expecting all of this. So I was very happy to hear that. So
Come on, intention. You say you gave him more than a couple of pages, huh? A couple of pages.
I gave it's some work. Like it's some work in that workbook. So, but it's good. And of course, still go get my book if you haven't. Surviving Relationship Storms. Get it on my Instagram page. Saturday. I don't have the flyer for this, but you can go to my page where it is. I am doing a workshop for Valley Kingdom Ministries in Chicago. It's a free workshop that you can sign up for. The session I'm doing. So Tamara Dervin is doing one on dealing with your debt. I'm doing one on funding your business. So if you're a small business owner and you want to know different ways you can fund your business, I'm teaching your class. It's a free virtual workshop. So you can go to my page, sign up on the Eventbrite link, and you can attend that Saturday. So
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Do good work out here for the people. Workbooks,
Yeah.
seminars.
right.
Yes.
Listen, 2022.
Where the money reside, where the money reside.
That's right. Listen,
Yes. Yeah.
listen, I got stuff to do this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other thoughts, comments, questions?
No, I'm so glad to be back in this here chair. I missed y'all. And I hope you all have a very, very great week. And I hope to be here next Tuesday, instead of somewhere laid up, medicated.
Yeah, you are too. We hope you are too.
Thank you.
I liked having my bishop here, but
Yeah.
he missed you. So
And I was upset. It took me to right up into the moment to say I ain't gonna make it. I was like, oh.
he even said, "Where's my Q?" I'm like, he texted me, "Where's Q?" I'm like, I told you she's sick.
Next time he will be back. We will talk again.
Absolutely. All right, y'all have a good night. We'll be back next week with another live show. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for, if there were any new people and I didn't see you, I apologize. I'm sure I'll be inboxing you soon. But y'all have a good week. If you haven't hit the share button, hit the share button. And if you still have comments when you watch the replay, drop those too, because we pay attention to those too as well. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for supporting, and we will see you all next week on The Scoop.
Yes, sir.